Good morning. Haterade here from Tales from the Age of Men. Just trying to get out a new development kind of blog, kind of show you the latest and greatest of what's going on with the mod, plans for the future, answer a lot of questions that have been popping up in the Discord, but also kind of show you some new things that we're kind of looking at. This right here is going to be more tailored towards people that kind of like to mod themselves, or will like to do some things. There have been a couple of people in the community that have basically like redid some XMLs for troops like for Rune, and then some other things. Redid some of the map and handed it back to us with their thoughts and kind of things. But like if you are ever kind of curious about the coding side of the house or the XML side of the house and stuff like that, I'm just going to quickly show you what you could probably do. Same thing that we did to get yourself set up. Our repository is wide open. Shout out to Tor. I love their approach. They kind of, and I believe Realm of Thrones also, sorry, not Realm of Thrones, Realms Forgotten, Black Roses mod also does this, where they just kind of give out their code to the community. So we kind of followed suit of that. Long story short is I would mostly pull from or clone dev. That's how our kind of process works. Do not clone public, beta, or alpha. Just clone dev if you're ever going to do that, right? So it is here on GitHub open, wide open for the public to look at exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and stuff like that. Um, One of the coolest things that came out was basically called Claude Code, and it has came a long way actually. So what I have open right now is Visual Studio, and you guys can see I've been doing some debugging. So like all your guys' stuff, I try to throw it through Claude to see what he can see. But yeah, so if you open up Visual Studio Code, right? You guys you'll get an option to basically clone a repository. You point it here, and then you'll be able to kind of clone that repository and stuff like that. So your options will be here. I already cloned it, so you guys can see down here I'm on this. I can switch if I want or do what I need to do, but like this is all local too, so I can go over here to dev, stuff like that. So the short of that is this is Visual Studio Code. I'm just using it for Claude, right? So I will come down here to extensions, find the Claude code for VS, don't install it, and then when you click on it over here, you'll see this little button, and we can kind of launch it. And then what I would do is because we have a couple things set up correctly, so we already have a Claude.md. So when you go and download Claude and you're already cloned the repository, what you can do is just have it read that Claude.md. And then, of course, we have it also connected to an MCP server to do various different things. So anyways, you have Claude.md. Another thing that you can do is you can go up here to the .claude, launch the setup from the Claude terminal that you have in Visual Studio Code, and it will just tell it to launch it. It will then do what it needs to do. But one of the kind of great things is that like we created the Claude.md file to basically make it smart, and then to understand how we do the things that we do. Where does it need? How does it need to build itself? Where does it need to decompile Tailworld's code so that like when you're looking up kind of classes or methods or code from Tailworlds, it will automatically decompile it, do its analysis, and then look at our code to figure out like what we did and what methods or models or patches that we have for ourselves. A lot of things that are going on, and then you should always try to keep that as up to date as file. We're going to do our thing, but if you're coding and doing your own things, you're going to obviously want to keep your MD file kind of with lessons learned. I tell it to learn. One of the, kind of things I tell it to do all the time, and it kind of constantly remind it is like always code with C# best practices. So sometimes it will get a little dumb and be like, yeah. So, anyways, long story short, that's how you're going to be able to look at everything that we did. So you can, even if you don't know how to code, you can do this. You can then have it basically tell you everything that we've did in terms of code and list it out as an overview so that you know exactly what's in game, what's not in game, what we're doing, why we're doing it, etc., etc. The best debugger still is Visual Studio 2022. So I just use Visual Studio Code for the Claude, right? And then I use the debugger in Visual Studio 2022. I open up the project, etc., etc. I just think it's a way better debugger. Maybe the code will come up to date at some point, but yeah. Anyways, the last thing I'll say about this is we do have this tied to an MPC server, so you'll see it in our files. It's Serenia. Where is it? Serenia, right here. Serenia, however you pronounce that. We have it tied to the MPC server. It's MCP server. It's right here. You guys can, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you guys can look it up. But that's what we do. So just to make sure that you always are connected, you can just type in /MPC NCP, and it will tell you that it's connected. We do this for various different reasonings. If you have a better MCP server, please let us know. But we kind of found that this one is kind of really, really good for C#. Anyways, that's coding. We have done a lot of changes to coding. If you're on the Patreon version, you know that wargs have been absolutely crazy. They've been going around just slapping mugs. So we kind of came in here and we kind of tidied up the max damage that it can do, because it was basically, if you had like 40 wargs, 60 wargs, you didn't really have to do anything. They were just going to go through and slap things. So we'll look at it. I tried to reduce the HP in the monsters XML. I don't know if that actually matters in game. One of our coders says that from his experience, it doesn't do anything in game from a HP perspective. Like, it's like hard coded, and we're gonna have to go look at it and probably code it into look at that and take the HP from there, because I did reduce their HP too. But we'll see what happens. We're going to have to continuously play with it. I don't want it to be unfun for someone that's going against Isengard, to just have them just have a whole bunch of wargs and go slap down some things. Now, with that being said, we also, I changed trolls, right? So trolls were much more of a, I got them into the game to see should I spend more resources on doing it, which the answer is yes. So they're not fully complete. We just did, like some armor and some weapons for them just to, kind of make them there. I have reduced them down in scale because I did notice that they were missing, but I think it's going to have to just have custom animations, really, tied to probably, I mean, Keyforce said that he's going to look at the troll skeleton, but playing around with the dwarf skeleton for like 6-7 months, we'll see what happens. We might just like leave it as the human skeleton and just do custom animations for it and call it a day. But yeah, the whole goal here is to limit the trolls. So what I did was I removed them from being able to be recruited in any kind of faction. So they are completely removed from being able to be recruited from any clan. Here, I am going to change this up here, and I just haven't done it yet, but like you guys can see, the code is right here. I will be able to put them specifically in specific settlements, right? So like Isengard will have a specific settlement where they can go and recruit from, and they will only spawn there on like probably like a 10% chance, right? So I think that like, because what's happening right now is the AI is just going around and they have a 10% chance to recruit. They have so much money and stuff like that. They just recruiting everything that's in there, so you're running around with like 60 trolls in an army of 1,000, while probably not lore accurate, sort of hilarious, but they also like. They're just not good right now because of custom stuff. But yeah, so I changed that also. I also made them so that they can't climb ladders, and I also put trolls into horse archers because I don't want them to be in infantry because they can't climb ladders now, because they just don't have, it's just not good. They block, basically, but now they're just sitting at the bottom of the ladder blocking too. So like I just put them in horse archers so that they can go and I don't know, raise their shields and do nothing in the back when it comes to sieging. I also edited their action sets. Hopefully that now with that little bug, whenever you entered a Mordor settlement with a cave troll, it just had some issues where it would crash, and most likely that was going to be action set related. So hopefully I fix that. We'll see what happens with that. There's a absolutely ton of other coding things that have happened. We've slapped around the strategic AI. We're now forcing Rune to go into Ebor and Ebor to go into Rune. Dale is still kind of being defensive. In my playthroughs, Gundabad has blitzed Mirkwood now, so like with about 2,500 people, and so like I want to see how that plays out. DG kind of goes over to Lithorian because they're not built out yet. Like Lithorian's not even thought about right now. I did add and change some body properties and stuff like that so that they're not SRE or whatever they were. But they're just not built out yet, and they won't be built out probably until next year. But yeah, we'll see what we're just monitoring what I want Dale to do. It might help out Mirkwood. I might split up Ebor's forces and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to also work on Rivendell to get them to go aggressively to Dunland, but like I don't know. They just seem to be just sitting there circle jerking at a village. So we'll see what happens. We're constantly doing that. I rebalanced all the weapons. I rebalanced a lot of the armors. Some of them were quite outrageous. A lot of the weapons now have new flags to knock down, dismount. I removed like swords having bonus against shields. It didn't make sense. Just a lot of that stuff kind of was reworked. I'm going to add starter bows. I don't think that that's too hard to have Claude do. I mean, I could probably do it right now, live. Um, right, so I'm just gonna go grab where it needs to go to do it. So it's gonna be so if you ever wanted to look at the weapons and stuff like that, it's gonna be in the armory, module data. So there's three places that you can work. Look, if you want to edit the stats of the weapons, you guys have to go to crafting pieces, or flags, stuff like that. Crafting pieces, right? If you want to make something couchable or pike or braceable, you need to go to weapons descriptions. And that's where you're going to find that. So once again, I kind of revamped both of these things. And then for items, you can go into weapons, and that's where or shields, and to edit those things. And then all of these have basically all of the armor for each kingdom. So if you ever wanted to look at the armor, I had Claude go through. That's why I'll start to clean this up. But Claude went through it, and we did a backup before it started to do various different things. But I had him look at Mordor, Isengard that I did myself, and Gundabad that I did myself, and say, hey, do kind of the same thing here. So it did that. It kind of works in game, and we'll see this here in a second. But let me just do this real quick. But that's where you go to edit XMLs for weapons specifically. If you want to edit XMLs for like lords, for example, you're like, hey man, like Mordor's like sitting there slapping the shit out of me. Go over here to LOTR AOM module data. Go down here to the lords. You guys, you'll figure it out. Don't worry about anything else, just the lords. I'm messing around and trying to consolidate all the XMLs to use the least amount of space or slash lines as necessary. Because when I feed it to Claude, I don't want to hit like limitations and this file is too big. Because I'm trying to also in the background think about how to move over to 1.3.x because people are kind of being successful over there. I think Realm of Thrones, Name of Jerusalem, and Black Rose's Realms Forgotten has all successfully maneuvered over to 1.3.1. I'm going to wait. That's my plan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wait until that is all hammered out. It just doesn't make sense to me to move over there right now when they're going to constantly provide updates until it gets to a point where they're not providing updates anymore, and then that's when I'll jump over there. I think that you'll also have a lot of lessons learned from the community. So this is where you're gonna edit any and all XMLs. Interesting. I'm gonna have to get rid of these things. Okay, so that's XMLs. I talked to you guys. Yeah, please review. I'm just gonna say, please review this, and so I'm just basically saying, hey, please review this specific place for bows and make bows with difficulty 0 as starting bows, and change their stats to reflect. Um, Okay, and then another thing I can do is down here, I'm just going to click it over here, the planning mode. This is just allows me to talk to it, and then it to respond back with what it understands and what it's going to do. And then if I don't like it, I can constantly kind of keep changing it. So down there, I just changed it to planning mode. Um, Once again, the more that you give the AI, the better the end state's going to be. So just continuously kind of keep that in mind. The AI is only as smart as the information that you give to it. All right, boom, it's going to do that. Okay, now let's move on while it's doing that in the background. I told you about the GitHub page. I told you about Claude Code that we're using right now, and I told you about Visual Studio. This is really, really good for debugging. There's a little bit of a setup that you have to do, but this is how I debug stuff. So like I think that you guys seen it, but like locals down here and then call exceptions, you'll be able to see the variables when it crashes. So anyways, yeah, so wargs, trolls, talked about. I have reduced a little bit of the funding from lords specifically as we code things in to tackle specific issues or long-term issues, right? Like for example, Isengard only having one town, Rivendell only having one town, Lothlorien only having one town. Going to be pretty difficult from a prosperity standpoint, from a money standpoint. So we coded things in. I'm adjusting those as we go along. Yathani also coded in a ton of different features, and we'll get to that in a bit. But um, yeah, so this is kind of what's going on. I fixed the custom wanderers, by the way. You now should not have any errors with that. I also fixed the bandit issue. Now it's interesting. People were unfortunately upset that there weren't a lot of bandits in the game. Now they're upset there's too many bandits in the game. But you will be able to fix that yourself and have that available. Race bonuses are there. You guys can take a look at that. I constantly tweak and change them. The strategic AI intelligence we have also tweaked and changed. We made Gundor more balanced. We kept the changes to Mordor, but Gundor is more balanced instead of being defensive. In your playthrough that you have on the community version, they are very defensive. Rohan we made more balanced. Isengard aggressive, Gundabad aggressive, Mirkwood kind of balanced. Dale is defensive. Ebor, we have to touch again. We have to slap them around. Rune, we made aggressive towards Ebor. Rivendell, I have to make aggressive towards Dunlin. I think I'm going to make Dunlin more balanced instead of aggressive because I don't want Rohan to be slapped by kind of Isengard, who's already kind of strong. I did nerf them a little bit. And then also additionally, what's their faces? You know who I'm talking about. Anyways, Dunland, right? So I also reduced the Lord stats because I didn't know that anything after 275 of medicine gives +1 HP. So that's hilarious. So people running around with 600 HP are no more because everyone's medicine is now below that. It's just so hard to like kind of think about like the lower accuracy and also slash the Bannerlord limitation slash game mechanics that you kind of have to play within. And also I reduced the leadership stats of basically everybody. so that you're not walking around with like a doom stack of like with all the Nazgul having a doom stack of like 1,000 each. So like you have like 5,000 against your like whatever 1,700, 2,000 that that you're limited by. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think that's the majority of his things. Yathani did a whole bunch of coding. He did player switcher in there. He looked at the player switcher code and did his own. So now you can player switcher will be embedded in. He did a function where you can ambush. You can set up ambushes. So like if you pause on the map, and I'll show this a little bit later. Let me just show you a little bit later. Because it will make sense. But let's get back to what we have here. So I am just the wrong orc. I should be a pal orc, but that's fine. I'm only doing this because you guys can't see my side, but oh, hold on. See, this is the issue when you have AI touch your stuff. They changed it. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, so don't worry about the hands. I just have to go in here and change them to covers, and I'll show you that right now. So if you ever have that issue, you come in here, go in here, go in here, go in here, arms, and then change covers hand equals true to false. Kind of self-explanatory. None of these actually cover the hand, so that just kind of hand morphs and stuff like that. So yeah, so that should be good. Then I just want to check one thing while I'm here. Okay, so got it. All right, so save that bad boy. Look at this. Make sure. I'll take a look at that in a second, because like you could tell it like, hey, here's my whole plan, but I don't want to tell it to do it until I get to it. But here's some of the DG armors. Pretty cool. Amazing thing that Keyforce popped out. Just trying to find all of them. We're gonna have to do a little bit more. Me specifically, has to do a little bit better on the cloth sim. But here's some of that stuff. We do also have the weapons in game. I have to fix the weapons in terms of positioning, so I'll get to that hopefully today. I want to clean up some other things, but like you guys can start to see some of the DG kind of armors that we have in game now. We have a whole troop tree. I don't think that you'll be able to see it, but let's see. Additional Swan, let me just come over here. Swan has basically done the terrain mapping. This is not lore accurate. We understand. He just did it just to make it not a soon TM thing. He just did it to make it look pretty. We have not done the nav meshing, and it's not lore accurate, right? It's just what he did it quickly just to once again kind of accomplish it. We did have a community member redo Rivendell, that whole area and stuff like that to have Highmore Pass, kind of like more of Lord of the Rings Online that you guys can see. I'm thinking about either putting goblins, probably minor factions all throughout this mountain. We'll see what we can do, what we can plan for. Swan redid all of Gundabad. As you guys can see, he redid all of Gundabad, even coming in here to Agmar, which will probably also have done Gundabad, because once again, so let me answer the question. What about this faction? Or what about that faction? What about this faction? What you see on the map is what I'm committing to. This is gonna take years worth of work to completely build out all of these. I'm gonna turn these guys neutral instead of having them evil, conned, and leaving that alone and see what happens. Harad and Umbars, they're just going to take years to kind of build out at the pace that we're kind of planning on getting to, right? Same thing with Rune. Rune's not done yet. That's going to take, you're looking at probably 3 to 6 months worth of work here per kingdom, basically 3 to 6 months per kingdom. You're looking at years down the road. Lithorian's not done yet. Mirkwood's still in progress. Dale's not done yet. So like if you look at all these kingdoms, you're looking at like 3 to 6 months. Let's just say 6 months per. So you're looking at one year, 2 years, 3 years of development time. And that's not even including settlements and scenes. I'm sorry, that's not including scenes. So like I'm already committed to a lot of kingdoms here, and I'm not committing to kind of any more. Now, if the community wants to band together and you guys want to do sub mods and do all this other stuff, we'll see what we can do. But like I don't plan on adding too much more to this. Like I'll add. I was thinking about adding them as a mountaineer faction for the goblins of the Misty Mountains or the orcs of the Misty Mountains, whatever we want to whatever the nerds kind of figure out what we want to do, and we can add Moria, and Goblin Town. But at the end of the day, that's kind of like that's it. Like no offense to people, like this project can be a never-ending project. Like literally, at some point, I have to go back to enjoying my life, right? So like that's kind of like what I start what I finish. So I'll finish all these kind of kingdoms. We'll see. But other people in the community can band together and start doing the West if they want. Linden shouldn't be too hard. We already have the armor for it. We'll see. We'll make. But like at the end of the day, like what's over here for them to slap around? Like you got, kind of dwarves and so like it's something else that you have to kind of keep in mind, right? Like we already have kind of issues with Rivendell coming down here to slap Dunlin. We're gonna have to make this not lore accurate and kind of put outposts and just make it enticing for these two to fight, or goblins in here for Rivendell to fight. But like there's not a lot of like evil stuff that's going on over here. Maybe some random like trolls, but like they're just gonna be kind of sitting there doing nothing. So it's gonna be more bloat for what reason, and then more scenes and more like you see like there's like a ripple effect of adding in more kingdoms and stuff like that. So what you see on the map is what I'm committing to. Swan's going to be working on this whole area of the map, just doing a revamp, fixing the work in progress, like making it obviously not work in progress. We'll see what we can do with this region. It might just be ruin. It might just not be accurate. It might just be ruin. All up from up here to like give these guys this freaking powerhouse over here something to do. Who knows? But once again, the community is more than happy to take this and do whatever it is that they want with it, and make the game however they see fit. I'm telling you what I'm doing, for reasons, right? Like there's a lot of work and time and resources that goes into building out a kingdom. That's what I'm kind of focusing on. My focus right now is 100% getting this to stable. Fixing all the crashes, fixing all the sieges, and then implementing scenes. That was the Patreon said scenes. That's what I'm going to work until December to do. We are right now. We've slow rolled. We slow rolled our scenes back down for kit bashes, because without kit bashes you're not really doing scenes besides field battles, but like those are kind of cool. I love the field battles that have been coming out, but to do a real good job on these scenes, you guys are gonna expect kind of custom things. We can use some of the native stuff and redo it, but like it's we're really focusing on kit bashes. Keyforce and Solus are going to be focusing, instead of doing Kingdom Armors, we're going to be starting to switch gears to that. At the same time that we do that, we're also trying to get into spiders, trolls, and there's something else that I forgot off the top of my head from a base mesh standpoint. So that's going to be so like kind of like getting into animation. So not only are scenes kind of our priority, but we're also looking into getting into animations. So we got a lot. I mean, like I don't know anything about scenes, so I have to learn that, right? So like just like I learned the map, and I don't know anything about scenes. We got some people on the team that do know about scenes, but like I like to get my hands into everything so that I know what right looks like. I know the left and right limits. I know how to debug it if there's bugs and stuff like that. Like that's so I have to spend some time doing scenes. So that's why I'm trying to push forward so hard on getting to stable and XML so I can pause on that, and then move over to doing scenes. And then we have to learn about animations, right? So that's going to be a whole nother kind of can of worms to open up is animations. Elephant is the thing I forgot. So elephants and spiders is what we're trying to start in November, and with the animations. While the team focuses on kit bashing and scenes, I'm going to try to learn scenes, and then I'm going to try to also get into animations. So if that's kind of your wheelhouse, more than happy to apply to the team. Um, just so for everyone's kind of situational awareness is the development has been blitzing, right? We poured a lot of money into it and stuff like that, but we're obviously going to start to slow down. And once again, just go off of Patreon money. I got a lot of stuff that I prepaid for that has been being pushed out in the last couple of months, but like the development really is going to slow down, and that's why I tell people like I'm not committing to more, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm not committing to the Shire, I'm not committing to the Vales, I'm not committing to Arnor, I'm not committing to Linden and more dwarf kind of settlements in the Red Mountains, the Blue Mountains, the Yellow Mountains, because of the simple fact that like I don't want to commit to like 7, 10, 15 years. I don't want to be sitting here 15 years from now doing the same thing. I spend a vast majority of my day kind of already modding this game, and I just want to get it to a point where um, it kind of is stable, it's working, it's fun. You can get multiple different playthroughs. Each playthrough should be different. Should be kind of like Rune shouldn't be playing like Rohan, and Dal shouldn't be playing like Ebor. That's what I'm trying to get to. So like you can have a metric shit ton of playthroughs and different things that you can do, and I think that we're slowly but surely accomplishing that. Then at the last, if once we get all of this stuff in here, right, and once again those plans may change. Like some people, and I'm starting to think about it. They said, hey, do we really need Cond in here, right? Like Cond. Why can't we just replace Cond with another one? Which I'm not against, right? So if the community comes together and said, hey, actually, let's get rid of Cond and Umbar, and Umbar might be relevant when we get to 1.3.x, probably. But if we, and what once again depends on what that code looks like, what the distance is, stuff like that. But if we do if we replace these two, can we have more stuff in the northwest? I wouldn't be opposed to that, right? I wouldn't be opposed to getting rid of, keeping what's down here, and they will not have custom armors or anything like that. I would literally leave them whatever they are now is how they're going to be. Just kind of leave them in game, and then I would kind of recommit to doing something over here or whatever, the woodsman, whatever the people kind of want. I don't mind that, but I have to stick to Ruin, Dale, Mirkwood, and Lithorian. That's yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's what I have, and then probably Harad. Maybe we get rid of the whole South and call it a day. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but nothing will be down here. I would have to delete everything down here, and because like right now all of these guys are just kind of going against Gundor. So Harad's, and I've seen it in my playthrough. They do go back and forth down here, but I don't know. Maybe we just stick to the middle and the north. Or it is a large map. So when people ask me about the map, so let's quickly talk about the map. The map is, so like this is what I tell people, right? We started the map with what we knew at the time, with what we had at the time, right? Like you have to understand when you get into this community, no one takes you seriously. When I came up and said, "Hey, I'm going to start this mod," no one took me seriously, right? And that's I wouldn't take someone seriously either. I want to see actions speak louder than words, right? So like I started with what we had, and we made decisions based upon our knowledge at that point. Should the map, like we made the map the biggest it can be. And Swan, correct me, it's 16 by 16 is the biggest that you can make it. So we made the map 16 by 16 because we learned from other people's lessons. It's harder. It is almost impossible to make a small map bigger. But it is, kind of easier to make a bigger map smaller. But we kind of made those decisions back then. The texturing, that, like we're limited by how many textures that we can put in. Maybe moving to 1.3.x does change some of the editing stuff a little bit so that we can add in. I think Lemmy said that the max that he would ever advise to put into a game is I think he said 14 textures, and I think that we're at like 12, 13, we're already kind of having performance issues, so we have to do various different optimization things. But like all I'm trying to say is like I get it. Like some people are like, oh, the map looks cartoonish. Oh, the map looks like this. The map looks like that. I totally understand. I got it. But once again, we did the best that we could with what we had. My plan is, and I did reach out to Lemmy multiple times. This is my second time reaching out to Lemmy, by the way. But like we're in a queue. He has a queue that he has that he owes other mods work on. I think that now he's working on Realms Forgotten. He's also working on a couple other things, and he's also doing his own projects. So I have a plan for him to come in, look at what we're doing, and then come in and add the Lemmy touch. I think that will be nice. But we'll see what happens, right? Like things change. Maybe someone else in the community is better than Lemmy, we just don't know about it. Or another person from another mod says, "Hey, I got some free cycles to come in and gotta help you guys out with the campaign mod." I'm okay. My whole development philosophy is kind of two things. One is let me get this into the game. Does it work? Yes, cool. I can put more resources towards it. If I put something into the game, it does not work. It sucks. Or maybe it's just too much resources that I'm going to expend to get it to work. I can be like, nope, we're not doing that. So that's why you see the trolls in there. That's why we continued to push on the dwarf skeleton and the dwarf base mesh and stuff like that. That's kind of like the whole development philosophy behind that, right? Is that so? Got it, understood the campaign map. My challenge to people is I'll give you the campaign map if you think you could do better, right? No problem. You can do it, and one person has actually came back and did this, so. The opportunity's there is what I'm saying, right? Like a lot of people say, oh, well, do this, do that. And like, listen, man, time, resources. I'm moving forward. I'm trying to get all of this into the game so that I can then focus more on balancing stability, get it to a point where like I can now walk off into the sunset, right? Like, and then this is a community-driven mod. Whoever wants to take it can take it and do whatever they want with it. But I spend roughly like 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to move this mod forward. And I right now I'm on vacation, and I'm still putting forth a lot of time and kind of resources into this mod. So at some point it has to come to an end. I don't want to be here for 5, 6, 7 years. Who knows if Bannerlord's even going to be here in 5, 6, 7 years? So I want to get this to a point where it's stable, where all the things that we've said that we're going to do are implemented, and then it just becomes like kind of a passion thing, right? Like, okay, and once again, also might change because I become passionate. I changed and want to add spiders because I think it would be freaking awesome to be able to kind of go into a battle and or be ambushed by spiders. But talking about that, let's move into kind of some of the features. So now, if you're an orc faction, I'm just going to move here. Give me a second. If you're an orc faction, you run out of food, you will now eat prisoners, starting from the lowest level and working your way up. So just to keep that in mind. So as a orc faction, you kind of don't need food if you have prisoners. So that's another thing. You can probably also increase your movement speed. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look into that from that perspective. Also, if you sit here on the map for a little bit, and you guys can't see it because of my screen, but a new option will pop up, and it will basically say, do you want to ambush somebody or do you want to be a lookout? Lookout will increase your view of the map, so you'll be able to view way more people on the map. And then ambush will sit there, and when an enemy comes by, you'll have marked advantages in that spot. So you guys can't see it right now, but there is. We'll probably add it also to the UI somewhere so that you can click it. We're also looking into and adding war camps so that, like, if you're far into enemy territory, you'll be able to. Excuse me, I'm just going to start. Okay, so people ask me all the time, hey, the War of the Ring for some reason isn't working. Here's a command that you can oh, hold on. No, I don't want that one. Start War of the Ring. Here's a command that you can enter, and it will automatically start the War of the Ring. So depending on, like, maybe you have the ability in your options to set when that starts with the Isengard stuff. So if you need more time to come up to a place where we put that in there so that you guys can play the game however what we're trying to do is give you the most amount of options possible. Play the game how you want to play. That's our kind of focus. Some things tend to be a little bit more lore accurate. Some things, but like my thing to the team is always give the player the option. If someone wants to go into a battle with 100 or 200 trolls, let them do it. 200 wargs, let them do it. If someone wants to wear armor from a different faction, let them do it. So at the end of the day, that is kind of where we're at with that. But kind of going back into it, you'll be able to ambush people. You'll be able to eat your prisoners. There's a couple other things. Player switchers in there. Marriage now works correctly. Executing lords won't have everyone mad at you. So like yeah, you won't be able to marry from evil to good. But however, like maybe we add in the future, we add in all those options so that if you want to get your little freak on, you can. So that's kind of like the philosophy. We're adding a lot more features in there as we see or feel. Like Yathani, is kind of going ham with that, and I think that he's doing an awesome job. Anian is also looking into adding more AI, like kind of like if you guys like the wargs, he's trying to also do that with other things, spiders, trolls. He has special plans for all those kind of creatures that we're going to introduce, ints, stuff like that. So we are looking into doing those things. And once again, but like right now we need to focus on stability, and we need to kind of focus on, kind of getting the kingdoms that we have on the map out and in a finished state. But once again, maybe I'll throw up a poll to the Patreons talking about the South here. Maybe I can, because we haven't. Well, I've paid a lot of money so far for Harad, but nothing for Khand and Umbar. So maybe we pause on those two and we switch them out with another faction. More than happy to discuss that with the community on that. Or maybe the community just says we don't need any of that, and I can just do Rune and Harad and sail off into the sunset, and call it a day. But I think that we also want to revamp. Keyforce specifically wants to revamp Gundor. I think that we have to add a little bit more to Rohan, some unique armors specifically, stuff like that. So, and then we have to we have to do the base mesh. See what I mean? It just the list continues. We have to do goblins. We have to. I want to redo the orcs, and I want to do armors for both. So like once again, that's another that's a year's worth of project right there, from armor, weapon, well not really weapons, but armor standpoint, for the goblins and the orcs, right? I want to be able to really build out that. So yeah, as I was thinking about it, more work, right? So yeah, that's kind of the focus. Swan's going to be focusing on the map, filling out doing various different things to this, doing map optimization so we can stop stuttering and stuff like that. I'm going to be focusing on XML stability, coding, once again, just getting to a really good spot where like we don't have any more crashes for anything. And then from there going into scening, and then from there going into animations. the scening team is going to be waiting on the kit bashes. So that's kind of like the modded in a nutshell. Once again, if you want to join the team and help, more than happy to have you guys here. I do purges. If so, like you need to come up on the wire and speak and say, hey, I'm going to be gone for X, Y, and Z. Because if you do join the team and you're kind of not doing anything, you're just kind of here to whatever, then you're going to be removed from the team, right? It's just it is what it is. But if you come up and say, hey, I got X, Y, and Z, I'm more than happy to accommodate real life things. So once again, if you want to join the team, more than happy to have you. Really looking probably more for more sceners and people that would like kind of experience into creatures and what's it called? Sceners, creatures, and animations is kind of like a good thing. But if you want to redo the map, more power to you. You can hit me up, and I'll more than happy to give you the map. If you want to do whatever else, if you have ideas, we always look at your guys' ideas. I try to provide as much context as possible. I try not to get butthurt over it because at the end of the day, it's just a game, and you providing your feedback to me means that you care. So I do look at all the feedback. There are various different reasons for why I do things the way I do, and hopefully you guys continue to like that. Actually, at the end of the day, hopefully you guys continue to like the transparency, the kind of progress. I know I've said this in the past. I do think that progress is going to definitely slow down. I'm making I just don't have a choice at this point. Like I have to make this necessary changes to get us to where we are only using Patreon money per month. And another thing, right? Like I think I said this in another one. Like Patreon isn't a guaranteed thing, right? It's all throughout the thing. But I'm trying to budget and say this person gets this person gets that, this person gets this, right? So it's no like right now we're at 273. Let's see what we got here. We got 2.2 sitting in the bank, right? So at the end of the day, I mean, it's all here. I leave it here. Most 99.9% of people do not do that. I leave it here so that you know exactly what all that money right here is poured back into the mod every single time I get it. And it's not, that's what I was trying to say. It's not like on the first of the month I get paid all the Patreon money. Nope, it's all throughout the month. So I'm trying to get that to where I can just say, okay, these people, trim down the team and say, here's who's getting paid. Here's the rest. More power to you. But the rest of the thing is going to be more passion-driven things. If you're passionate and you want to join the team, more power to you. If you're just looking to get a payday for doing some work, probably not going to work out for me specifically because I already have a team put together. So unless you're better than Keyforce or Solus or Leo V or some of the other people, then I don't see you, getting paid to do this stuff. So I just want to kind of keep that clear with the community as we're trimming down the team to, kind of here's who's getting paid for. I think that you can clearly see why they're getting paid, and then also additionally, at some point we're Patreon's not 100%, right? Like at some point, things are going to have to be done for free or out of passion, right? I've had a lot of people join the team recently for free. I give them various different things. Like a lot of people got World Creator, which is like $280 a license. Kind of as a kind gesture, I'll buy other things for the team, do other various different bonuses. Like for example, the month of December, I just plan on giving the team bonuses. For as much as I can, like the whole team, whether you're paid or not paid, I'm trying to. If you've been active and you've been contributing to the mod, I think that you deserve some money. So I'll probably take that whole month's worth of money and kind of give it to the people that that are not on the payroll. So with that being said, Haterade, Tales from the Age of Men. Hopefully this was good. We have Gone to Bed out. We have DG now. I'm doing refinements and then I'll get that out to the testers. So once again, if you download one of my, if you just somehow, because once again, if you're a Patreon, you get to see a lot more channels in the Discord. You get to see like all the development. I try to once again try to be as transparent as possible. I'll tell you exactly what I thought, what I feel, exactly. You guys will see exactly what we're talking about, what we're doing, what we're planning on from a Patreon standpoint. If you're a Patreon and you do go and download my build for the testers, I mean, you do it at your own risk. That's all I'm going to say, right? Like, I try to fix as much as I can. Just understand that any siege crashes, for example, only one person can work on the map at one time. So we have to fix all the siege crashes at one time, and I don't want Swan to do that or waste his time doing that. I can do that myself because he needs to be focusing on making the map as great as it possibly can. So, other than that, code crashes and also the stuff that's pretty easy to fix. Anyways, once again, hey, Ray, Tales from the Age of Men. Hopefully you guys like the development blogs. I try to do them as much as I possibly can. I'm on leave or vacation for this month, so I get to play a little bit more and fix a little bit more things than I usually do. But yeah. So there's that. Anything else? Feel free to reach out on Discord. Take it easy.